Hi guys. I want to talk about incomplete sessions today, because I run into this issue a lot with consultees where they didn't cover what you do when you don't complete clear a target in one session, which is actually not the norm. So I really don't want anyone thinking, like I thought, um, that you would clear every target you work on in a session. Many take months that you're working on or longer. Some are interrupted by other more pressing targets that pop up, right? As some targets kind of come down, as this 10 starts to come down 2 or 3 range, right? This other 10 pops up because the brain prioritizes the injury. We'd like, in an ideal world, clients to clear the target, 0-7 clear, right? All the way through before we start another, but that's just really not how things always get to work. So first, I want to say targets don't clear in a session. Occasionally they do. And kind of every time they do, you'll feel like you have whiplash because you'll be like, whoa, did that really happen? And you'll say, they said it could, but I don't see that very often um, because it's not the case across the board. I remember leaving my training as an itty bitty brand new therapist, thinking that that would happen. And I don't believe my trainer said that. But somehow I believe that they were supposed to clear in the one session. So it took me a little while to realize that wasn't the case, and to stop feeling like I was doing something wrong, which means you're going to come back and have a lot of incomplete sessions. Okay, so you're going to wrap up your session and you don't need to take a sud. If it's not done, it's not done. Dr. Shapiro says don't take a sud until you can guarantee it's a 0. Don't race them to that 0. They'll feel pressure. They'll be like, my therapist wants a 0, so I'll give her one, right? Don't worry about it. It's not done. It's not done. Give yourself plenty of time. Contain, calm place, whatever other resources you like to use or grounding skills. Make sure their feet are in the ground. They're in the present, chatting about what's happening next for them today. I always ask my clients the 3 things they're going to do today after our session to take care of themselves. Making sure they're in the present. Great, they leave. Okay, come back, check in, 5 minutes, reevaluation. So EMDR specific check-in, 5-ish minutes, and then going back into phase 3 in an ideal world. Sometimes those take longer. Go back into phase 3, and by that I mean say, remember that target we were worked on last time? And they'll be like, yeah, the car accident. And you'll say, yeah, you ready to keep going? And they'll go, yeah, in an ideal world. And then you're going to do the abbreviated phase 3. In that, we will include no cognitions. All right. All you need is the target you're working on, image, emotions, SUD, body sensations. No cognitions. We got the negative cognition initially to open the door to the network. As soon as we start bilateral stimulation, that cognition is changing. All right. If you repeat that cognition any point after that bilateral starts, now it's likely tied to other memories, which now you're bringing in. Okay. Don't say it again. The one time in your phase 4 paragraph where you say that, as soon as bilateral starts, we don't need to bring it up again. Okay. The door's open. That being said, now the negative cognition is changing, right? We're going from dysfunctional depot to adaptive avenue. So as soon as we start the bilateral, we're on our way to adaptive avenue, which means that negative cognition isn't, even if it were to be phrased that way, it's not as strong, right? So we don't need to bring that back up. The other thing we don't need to bring up is that positive cognition again. We don't touch that again until phase 5. We do the positive cognition and the voc in phase 3. We don't touch it. We don't check in and say, does this feel more true? We don't touch it till that SUD's a 0. All we're doing in phase 4 is that phase 4. Okay. Initial phase 3 has cognitions, and then phase 5 will revisit the positive cognition and the voc. In phase 4, we don't bring up any of those, which means that as soon as we start phase 4, we don't bring those up again. We do our phase 3 incomplete session, gather those details of what's different now, what it looks like now, what's the image now, what are the emotions now, right? Where's the SUD? Where is it in your body? And we go back in, which means then if we shut it down, we know the SUD's not a 0, still processing, great, contain, calm place, resources, grounding, back in, again, target, image, emotion, SUD, body sensation, no cognitions. One of the biggest errors I get from consultees is revisiting these cognitions in phase 4 or in an incomplete phase 3. Okay. It will uproot the process. All right. So don't need them again. Initial phase 3 and then not till 5. Process through phase 4 till you get to a 0. All right. Once it's a 0, you can move to phase 5, and that's when we'll reassess that positive cognition, which will likely have changed. All right. And then we'll go through phase 5, 6, and 7. Now, if the client comes in and they're like, what was my negative cognition? Yes, you can tell them. That's the only reason you bring that up. Because if they say, what was it? Otherwise, not again. Okay? Hopefully you guys got these worksheets in your training. Everybody who's trained by me knows I hammer this incomplete worksheet hard on Thursdays, like first thing in the morning. So hopefully you have those written in front of you with the exact language we want you to use, so you're not confused. You either the target was done, so you are all the way through 7 if appropriate, then you're onto another standard worksheet, or it wasn't done and you're onto an incomplete worksheet, and you can just grab either. All right, and read directly off that script forever. Like we all emphasize. Don't make that the problem. Don't accidentally put in your own words. Just read off the script. Okay? Lovely session of cognitions. I think that's all I'm going to cover today. All right. Thanks, guys.